Hello everybody, welcome back to another video. Hopefully you guys are all having a wonderful, fantastic day. Today's upload is going to be a tropical update, and as many people know, there are there's one hurricane, major hurricane, category 4 right now, Hurricane Florence, and there is a chance of a disturbance, very high chance of developing. So the Atlantic Ocean has been acting up really crazily. Tropical Storm Gordon just made landfall, Tropical Depression Gordon. Made landfall, I'm fairly sure, in Louisiana or Mississippi, either two of those states. And now it's still a tropical depression, but it is definitely weakening and poses not too much threat in terms of wind, but in terms of heavy rain, there still is some threat. Before we get into this, consider subscribing to my channel, consider liking the video. You may be wondering why to subscribe. Well, it's just something to keep in the back of your mind, whether this channel suits your needs or not, and whether you like this channel. So you could always keep that in the back of your mind. You could watch the whole video, check out my channel, and then you could consider subscribing and liking the video. So let's click on Florence, because as of now, that is the biggest major concern in terms of the tropics. We also have this thing, but that is, even if it would hit the United States, which this is a very huge big question mark, whether Florence or this will hit the United States, this would get closer and impact the United States first. So let's go to Hurricane Florence, and right now this is where it's located at 5 o'clock p.m. Wednesday, which when I'm recording it right here, you could see 5 o'clock Wednesday. I'm not sure if this is standard time. I'm fairly sure this is Atlantic Ocean time, so maybe a little bit earlier. But you can see the M stands for major hurricane category 3 or above, and then it drops down to a hurricane around the Friday time frame, which it's gonna get into a little bit of wind shear. It's gonna be on the southern edge of some wind shear, but it's stronger than anticipated. So does this even drop down to a hurricane? We don't know, but nevertheless, it's going to still continue as a major hurricane going on towards the East Coast and towards Bermuda. So Bermuda, this may again be another storm hitting you. I think we already had Chris or Beryl, I don't know, either one of those hitting you already. So this one is definitely posing a threat and looks very scary and looks very menacing. So at this point, it is moving northwest at 13 miles per hour. It's located at 22.7 degrees north and 46.6 degrees west. Obviously, it's a major hurricane, Hurricane Florence. And yeah, it's what I was talking about, Atlantic Standard Time, so I think that was a little bit earlier. So now you may be wondering, well, how strong are the winds? How will it move in the next couple of days? Well, here we go to the GFS, and I'm trying to make this as visible as possible, so hopefully you can see this. So right there is Hurricane Florence, and there is that disturbance of, just a disorganized disturbance that I showed you earlier, and has a 90% chance of developing in the next 5 days. So in general, Atlantic, very favorable for much rainfall. And you can see that this starts moving towards the northwest, this little disturbance, along with Hurricane Florence. The GFS is underestimating it right now, as the pressure, I am not sure exactly. Hold up, let me go back here because I want to find exact pressure. The pressure is at 953, and the GFS is showing it currently at 980. So the models weren't really good with this. It is stronger than anticipated, even by the National Hurricane Center and National Weather Service. So you can see it really starts strengthening. I mean, potentially a category 5 with this, a superstorm, and it just gets so close to the coast. And this isn't just one model run that is showing this. There has been already past couple of model runs. Let's go back to the 12Z1. You can see again very close to the coast. Let's go back to the 6 o'clock Z1, which is around 2 o'clock in the morning. Again, very close. This one has it even closer and actually landfalling, which God forbid, hopefully doesn't happen. But a category 5 hurricane is possible, hitting the U.S. coast, but that is, again, so far-fetched. But it's a huge question mark, because this is why I'm doing this tropical update. As I mentioned many times before, I don't like doing tropical updates. I just don't. But when it comes down to a situation where it's life or death for many of people, especially hitting the populous area of Northeast, I need to make this update, and I will be making more if this poses a continuous threat. So let's go back to the 12Z, since the 18Z or the 2 o'clock one hasn't gone in through completely. So right now, as of now, it does not have it hitting the coast, barely missing it, but that is just too close to call. The past couple of days, it has been getting closer and closer, and then as that moves off back into the ocean, you can see that there is that little depression that has been all around lighting and basically shadowed out by this storm that will be making headlines, and it already is making headlines. This little storm, not so little, will also get fairly strong and powerful. As of now, it is on hour 384 right there. So it is this is Friday, September 21st, 9:73. And I'm sorry if I went through this quickly. I should have probably shown you the dates. So by the time it is close to Bermuda, which is right around here, doesn't show it hitting, that's next Tuesday, September 11th. And then as it gets closer to the northeast coast, that is Thursday, September 13th, 2018. So at its closest, it will be probably by the Outer Banks of North Carolina. According to this model run, this changes based on daily and even hourly. So and then that little storm could be around the 21st of September, when basically hurricane season is at its peak. So very dangerous, very concerning. If we go just to total accumulated precip, you see how much potential these storms have. You could see, I mean, where they track, that is 2 feet of rain. Plus, if you go to the bar right here, the yellows are basically anywhere from 14, 16 inches plus, and some of these brighter colors are indicative of 24 inches plus. So very concerning, very not, definitely not welcome in the United States. But if it does happen, then we will all need to keep an eye on it, and definitely keep you guys updated. So if you're wondering what is the wind threat with this, how strong will it get? Well, I got this other. It's called Ventusky or Ventusky. I think it's Ventusky, pronounced Ventusky. And right now we're at wind speed 10 meters above ground, so basically surface area or surface level. Sorry about that. And this is Monday, September 10th, and Bermuda is somewhere in this ballpark. Let me try locating it. It's a very, very small island, so forgive me if I can't locate it. Let's put it back a couple of days so there's no colors around it. And Bermuda it's somewhere in here, guys. Mark my words. Definitely, as of now, Bermuda is definitely in danger for a major hurricane hitting it. However, it may not directly hit it, which would change the outcome of the story by a lot. Should be somewhere Bermuda. I'm sorry, I just can't find it. I'm really sleepy also, so this isn't helping that much either. But anyways, Bermuda at this point doesn't look to be hit directly, but definitely impacts are going to be felt. So this is Saturday the 8th. Let's zoom in on the hurricane. This is the northeast coast, New York City, North Carolina, South Carolina, Georgia, Florida, areas like that are all in the, basically anywhere from Florida to Maine may get hit by a hurricane. And I'm not over-exaggerating. I'm not trying to hype anything up. That is the reality. So this is Saturday the 8th, September 8th. You can see the wind speed, constant wind speed is around 100 miles per hour. Maybe a little bit underdone by the GFS, as I just showed you. The GFS doesn't have the best handle on it. But as we go on into the 9th, so this is a Saturday, you can see it strengthens, and some of these sustained winds are definitely reaching that 100-mile mark. And right by that core, I mean, look how fast this is spinning. This is a major hurricane. And by the time, let's skip forward to Tuesday. Let's zoom out a little bit. Now we're getting really close to the United States coast. You can see that is way above a major hurricane status. And again, the GFS is very severely underplaying this. So they're showing at its peak right here around 110, around 110, so it should be around 130, 140, anywhere from 120 to 140 miles per hour, which is a category 4, if not 5. And I don't really know exactly the Saffir-Simpson. Let's pull that up right now. Saffir-Simpson scale. So let's pull that up and let's go to images and let's go right here. So yes, a category 5 is wind speed 156 or above, and then a category 4 is 131 through 155. So yes, this would be most likely a category 4. As of now, it's a category 4. And then this is the 12th, so next week, Wednesday, exactly a week from now, getting very uncomfortably close to the United States coast. At this point, there will be probably warnings and watches going up if this would be making a direct impact, but at this point, still too far out. So you can see this is 120 120, 130 almost, so probably around 100, maybe potentially even a Category 5 hurricane. And then it takes, thankfully, according to this right now, which still isn't set in stone, takes a northerly turn, which turns it away from the coast and continues on its path further up out into the Atlantic Ocean. But then, as I mentioned, we have that other little system we need to watch for, and that is right down here, and that is only starting to develop. So definitely a lot of things to keep an eye on for, a lot of things to watch. This is definitely something that's very concernful. If you go to wind gusts, which obviously wind gusts are just these infrequent acceleration of wind when they blow through. And right, let's see at its strength. So this is again switching back to Wednesday the 12th. September 12th, Wednesday. You can see the wind gust up to 150 miles per hour in some locations. So this is definitely something that's severe and is definitely enough power to create catastrophic damage. So I want to also show you quickly right here. Let's zoom back out and let's just go on lower dynamics, and let's do MSLP and 10 meter. So this is basically showing you what I showed you here. The winds at 10 meters of above the sea level. And let's go to sorry about this, and I haven't really had this prepared too well. So let's just go to sorry, there it is, eastern United States. So very, very big storm if it were to happen. It's not like Beryl, that was a tiny storm, or even Gordon, which was a fairly small storm. Actually, yeah, I'm sorry. This is the second one that could be forming. This is the first one, and I knew it. Look, that's a huge storm right there. Its wind span is for about 1,000 miles, maybe even more, of tropical storm force winds or greater. And right in that center, you can see that is just insane. Measurements of wind. You can see those purples, those whites, and then those dark, and then basically out of the scale. And this is measured in knots. So I'm just assuming this is somewhere around 100 knots, 110 knots, which is around 130, 140 miles per hour. So this is a very strong storm that could, just look how close it gets to. It's basically, what's the bad thing about the Northeast is that right here with Long Island and Cape Cod, it forms like a catcher's mitt, and then these hurricanes sometimes just fit right in there, and they sometimes stay there and for a couple of days before moving on. So that could cause torrential flooding, torrential damage, and you can see thankfully that one moves out, but then we still have that threat for that one. According to this model, obviously this could still definitely change. So I'm very concerned for this. I just want to give you guys an update on this. So this is how it currently looks like. There's Tropical Depression Gordon moving out, Hurricane Florence, which is a Category 4 as of now, and then right now it is, and then we have a Disturbance 1, which is 70% chance of formation in the next 48 hours. So let's go to wind speed probabilities quickly, and this is for the next 120 hours, and you can see that Bermuda has, this is the probability of a tropical storm force winds. Bermuda has at this point around a 30%, 20% chance of seeing tropical storm force winds or greater, but this is still far out, and I think that soon they could be in the red or even the purple. Definitely in the red or purple, and I would even say red or purple for the, let's see, hurricane wind speed probability. You can see, this is, mainly underdone because obviously the hurricane right now it's at 130, so it would be 130 is way above hurricane status. In order to see hurricane force winds that is 75 miles or greater, 74 miles or greater, sorry. And as of now, Bermuda has 0% chance of seeing that, but again, that is far out and far-fetched. So that's basically it, guys. Thank you guys so much for watching. Please consider subscribing to my channel. Please consider liking the video, and hopefully you guys will all stay safe, and I'll keep you guys updated.